Hi everybody, this is Mr. Phillips. I'm recording this video to talk to you today about the cause and effect essay, which we're already a week or so into, and I maybe could have, should have, would have gotten this video up to you last week. Um, During the week, it was a very busy week, and over the weekend, obviously, I had my little thing with my eye, and I'm trying to minimize myself down in the corner so you can't see my hideous disfigurement of my eye, although it's mostly healed by now. So, but I at least want to get this up to you today so we can talk and think about the cause and effect essay. I don't know if you've chosen a topic yet. I haven't, obviously asked y'all to let me know what your topic might be. I always mostly trust y'all to select your topics, but if you haven't, this discussion may help. And even if you have, selected a topic, it may help you either focus it or maybe even change your mind on what your topic might be or help you confirm your topic, etc. But at the very least, I want to, help you understand what the assignment should be doing, what the essay should be doing, what this portion of the term is meant to accomplish. This is the core 3 essay. It's cause and effect. And ultimately, you're going to be writing mostly about one or the other, the causes of something or the effects of something. So right now on Blackboard, Canvas, you should be seeing the home screen of our Canvas course. So I'm going to click into the assignments as always and get down to the assignment so we can, read through the document as we always do here. The Core 3 essay assignment, cause and effect. Your task, to write an essay in an academic voice. So now for this essay, more so than the previous two especially, we are shifting into a more formal tone of voice, an academic voice. You possibly still can write in the first person, for instance. Academic voice doesn't necessarily preclude writing in first person. It's not one or the other. But you may not need the first person, the I, the me, etc., that we refer to as first person. You may not need that. There may not be a role for it in this type of writing because you're not really writing about yourself or about your experiences or your observations or really, frankly, well, I was about to say, or your opinions. Some of this obviously might be based on your opinions, but to that extent, anytime you're writing like this, phrases like, in my opinion, I believe, I think, those phrases really aren't necessary. Anytime, almost as a general rule, anytime you find yourself writing a sentence where you say, in my opinion, or I think, you can probably literally scratch out those words and have a much more powerful statement. You can literally delete the words I think or in my opinion and have a much more powerful sentence. So, try it out, next time you're writing and you find yourself typing those words or I believe or I think. Just literally delete those words and see what it does to your sentence. You'll probably notice that it does sound so much more powerful. In my opinion, we should do such and such versus we should do such and such. It just sounds much more direct without those words. So elements of that first person, like those phrasings, may not be really useful or necessary here, and they could even be kind of counterproductive by reducing it to only your opinion. But what you're trying to do is, at this point, is really making your reader start to agree with you, not just tell them what you think, but you're working your way towards making your reader agree with you. So those words like "in my opinion," if it's just your opinion, I don't need to agree with your opinion. We all have opinions, etc. If it's something that you think, okay, you can think that. That doesn't make me think that, but you can think that. And that's really not the effect you want to have on your reader. You want your reader to start believing and accepting what you have to say. So, letting your reader kind of letting them off the hook by telling them, "Hey, it's just my opinion." That's not a very effective way to make your reader agree with you. So anyway, we'll keep reading through this. Academic voice, using analysis and critical thinking. Those are going to be important elements of an essay like this. To analyze the issue. Analyzing means to break down an issue into the smaller points. To break down anything, to understand the parts so that you can understand the whole. That's basically what analysis means. And critical thinking, of course, to explore the cause and effect relationship between issues, and I say two issues, but issues in society. You may focus on one, the causes of something, or the other, the effect or the effects of something. And I strongly recommend that you do that. Try to focus on one side or the other, the causes of something or the effects of something. Trying to do both is a little bit messy in the scope of one essay of the length that I'm asking you to write. It certainly could be done, but as I've said, really relative to discussion posts, etc. I'd rather have substance on one issue rather than lighter, lesser substance on multiple issues. So I think for this essay, it's much more preferable that you focus on the causes of something or the effects of something instead of trying to balance it out. You will, of course, find yourself mentioning both, discussing both, but focusing on one or the other. Your purpose: appropriate rhetorical context, your critical and analytical thinking, to clearly identify and describe the causal relationships. And I want to, focus on that word. It's not casual. It's not casual relationships. It's causal, having to do with the causes of something or how one thing causes another. To start developing your academic voice, your formal writing academic voice, and overall for you to demonstrate recognition of the various facets, components of an issue that you are selecting here. So your audience is always at your discretion, picking an audience that somehow is related to or concerned with your topic. You may select any topic you wish, so be thinking about it again if you haven't already. It is recommended but not required that you select a topic that you will be comfortable writing about in your core 4, your persuasive essay, your argument essay, the next one. And I say recommended but not required. I strongly recommend it. That's the whole point. That's the goal, the way I'm designing these assignments to work together. I want them to. My idea is that in this essay, this core 3 essay, you will identify, for instance, the causes of something, that these things cause something else, or this is caused by something such. Okay, well, what do we do about that? Is that good? Do we want these things to cause something else? Do we want this thing to be caused by? If that's good, if we want that, then your core 4 essay should help argue why this should happen, why we can make, or how we can make sure that this happens. How can we ensure that this causes that? Because if we want that relationship, that's what you're establishing in your core 4 essay. How can we make sure that this relationship maintains? If, on the other hand, you are writing about the causes of something or the effects of something, and there may be a negative effects, and we want to prevent them. So if you say that this causes that, and we don't want this to happen, then your core 4 essay can argue, how can we make sure that this does not cause that? If there is some sort of relationship between this and that, maybe you want to argue how we can stop that. That becomes your core 4 essay, your persuasive essay, arguing how we can stop this from causing that. But either way, I want there to be some correlation between this essay, excuse me, and your next essay, where your 4th essay, your persuasive argument essay, argues how we can accomplish what your core 3 essay explains, the cause and effect relationship, and then what we can do about it. That's the way I want these 2 essays to work. So even if you do decide after the 3rd essay to change topics, that's fine. You'll still use the same process, but hopefully it'll be much easier for you if you do stick with the same topic for both essays. So after selecting your kind of issue and your topic, break it down into cause and effect relationships. Is your issue, whatever your basic topic is it the effect of something, some other forces or issues in society? Okay, what are they? What are those forces that are causing this? If your thing is the effect, what are the causes? Is your issue the cause of something? If so, what are they? In either case, is this a beneficial, productive relationship that should be strengthened or maintained? Or is it a harmful, destructive relationship that should be repaired or prevented? And that's basically asking, do we want this to happen? Do we want this to cause that? Or do we not want this to cause that? And you can just think about topics on both sides. You could think about the effects of going to college. Well, generally, I think we mostly agree that those are positive effects. Okay, so what are the effects of going to college? Is it income possibilities? Is it career choices? Is it economic stability? Some sort of whole body, emotional type health. Okay, well, those are the effects of college. So then for possibly your 4th essay, we could argue, okay, how can we make sure that people do go to college? Because we've already established the positive beneficial effects of it, so we want that to happen. So your 4th essay would explore and explain how we can make sure that people do go to college. Okay. On the other side, maybe there's some negative relationship, the effects of global warming. Okay, it's a topic we're all familiar with, climate change, whatever we're calling it. The effects of climate change, and you lay out some possibly negative effects. Okay, well, for your 4th essay, we don't want that to happen, so how can we stop climate change from causing these things? So in both cases, you're exploring how one thing causes something else, how college causes good things, or how climate change causes bad things. So on the 4th essay, on the one side for the college, you explore how do we make sure that people go to college so that they can get these good effects? Or on the negative side, the global warming or the climate change, how can we stop that so we can prevent those negative effects? So that's the way that I want you to be thinking about these two essays. Remember in this one essay to thoroughly, adequately break down the initial cause and effect that you do identify into any necessary or relevant connected causes or effects. And I'll talk more about this on a different essay. I'm sorry, different essay, yikes. A different recording, I'll go through this whole process of building what we call a causal chain. But my last sentence here, think causes equal reasons, effects equal results. So if you want to get away from the cause and effect terminology, you just think about the reasons for something, the reasons why we have whatever, the reasons why we have a certain law. Well, those are the causes that caused us to have that law. The effects equal results. Okay, what are the results of such and such? Well, that's the effects of doing something. What are the results of having this policy or this law? Well, those are effects. So start somehow thinking about what your topic might be, how you can articulate this in a cause and effect relationship. So to help you move from your topic to actually building the essay, consider some of these questions that might help you kind of flesh out. What happens if we do something? What would happen if we do something? Well, you're talking about the effects of doing something. So that would be an effects essay, the effects of doing one thing or doing this thing. Why do we do such and such? Why have we been doing such and such? Well, at that point, you're talking about the causes of something, the causes of us doing something. Why do we have this law? Well, what were the causes of having this law? What are the risks and or the benefits of doing something? What would be the benefits of doing something? Here are the benefits, or here are the dangers of. At that point, you're talking about the effects of whatever it is. Why should we do such and such? Why we should, flip that around, why we should do such and such. You are talking about the effects. You are talking about the effects of passing some law. And I keep focusing on laws. It doesn't have to be laws, obviously. But I'm using that as kind of the example for each of these. What would happen, why do we, etc. How could we make such and such happen? If there's something that you think should happen, you are talking about the effects of something, the something that we should do or that should happen. That would be the effects of doing something, making something happen that you want to happen or that you think should happen. So I'm kind of, I feel like I'm almost babbling my way through this explanation. I hope I'm being clear. So be thinking about at this point, like I say, if you haven't already, and I kind of think maybe a week into this assignment, you probably should be, but be thinking about what your topic might be, what causes you might be writing about, causes of what, or the effects of what that you might be thinking about. And just by way of examples, I did mention the two. And you're perfectly free to use those. You can use those examples to work your way towards your topic or whatever you wanted. And the examples I mentioned, the climate change or effects of going to college or whatever. So you could use any variety of those, any version of those, or mutations of those two topics to help you find your own topic. You can come up with something completely on your own. This can be, kind of world-changing, society-changing thing that you're talking about. Like I say, going to college or climate change. These are pretty literally world-changing topics. Or you can think of, something small scale, changing a rule in a sport or something. If you're a baseball fan, the whole designated hitter thing, whatever. That's, not necessarily world changing, society changing, but it is a topic. What would be the effects of if they deleted or, got rid of some rule in a sport? Or what are the effects of? Or why do they have that rule? What were the causes of having that rule? Whatever it might be, anything from, something trivial like a rule in a sport all the way up to a major legislation that would change how the government does something or how society does something. Anywhere in between. You can think on personal levels. Why do we do such and such in our personal lives? What are the effects of? Or you can think society type things. You can think impersonal, social type things. So be thinking about this. I'm going to be recording something else, as I said, about causal chains, causal relationships, ways to articulate and flesh out and build towards an actual essay. So I'm going to stop this recording and get this processed and get this up to Canvas to you. You'll hear from me more soon, so take care of yourself and keep working hard. Take care. Bye.